Alright, guys. We've hit the final chapter. I'm not happy. I wanted the free city. It didn't happen because they killed Egmont, and I realized that's what happened, is they killed Egmont. Which I hate. Not my people, but the reason I couldn't is because the people in power originally killed Egmont, and then the people revolted because of Egmont's death. After 8 years of careful plotting, the streets of Anazote are ablaze with the flame of rebellion. Felipe schemed to use a fake uprising to strengthen his own position as birthed the genuine revolt. Alas, the advisor is not here to witness it. I executed him without mercy. Mayor Egmont is also dead, and his supporters have joined the last straw. Push people over the edge. Sophia is planning to take over Anazote, and she has no intention of negotiating with the Overseer. What can happen in this chapter? City is defended. Peace with the Overseer. Surrender of the revolt. The revolt is defeated. The legion's defeated. The Anazote massacre. We're going to avoid that. Dark times. And we're going to hope that doesn't happen either. So, dark times will happen if I don't achieve another outcome. Okay, so what do I want? They managed to fight back the Legion and hold Anazote for some time. Oh, that doesn't sound good. And that requires a lot of willpower. Peace with the Overseer. Overseer Gaius Tempest is forced to accept the demands of the revolt. That is the best possible outcome. Nobles need to be... Alright, so let's see what we're at right now. No followers. No clergy. Common folk right now trust. And troops is a regiment. Okay, so... I feel like the rain in the background is very fitting. You know what? These are dark times, so let's do the episodes in the dark. Okay. This is what we want. Everything needs to be above 1. And the revolt needs to be above a 6. But below a 9. Above a 6, below a 9. And clergy, nobles, power. Oh, this is not going to be good. Alright. Her revolt will inevitably destroy the Empire. Yes, it will. She's becoming an enemy now. And I hate this, but she is. Disgruntled citizens are rising up all over the city. The last straw's revolt has... The masses should wage a desperate struggle for their rights. It cannot be stopped anymore. Despite the growing chaos, you have no fear. All these years you were finally here. I'm so afraid for my family, though. Okay, so... This is not good. Things are so bad. Event has happened. I've sided with the revolt. Oh, this might be the last episode no matter what. Victory conditions for the rebel. Leading the revolt. Oh my gosh. So I need to be indisputable leader of the clergy, the common folk. Oh. Oh, heck. My fate may already be mostly decided at this point. This isn't good. For years now, Anazote has been simmering like a cook pot over a slow flame. The powerfulness of the simple folk, unable to change the old order, has gradually given way to rage. Finally, anger becomes stronger and the age-old submission to the higher estate and the fear of divine retribution. This rage will spark that lit fire of the revolt. I'm so fearful. And this might even be a short episode, but we'll see. All of Anazote's commoners have risen up in rebellion. Workers, artisans, merchants, beggars. They all long to break free of the noble tyranny and the perpetual suffering that is their lot. I'm going to say it. Okay? This is it. When Bermp dies, even if it's unsatisfying, that's the end. I may go back and, look at what options I could change on my own later on. But in terms of this series, when he dies, it's over. Whatever mistakes I made are permanent. I'm at the last chapter. Whatever happens is permanent. Weapons give them a chance to wage war on equal footing against noblemen descended from generations of warriors. But the most dangerous weapon is the people's court. The commoners have claimed the right to sentence their enemies to true death. And for some reason, the gods are here for it. The first noble executed by the last straw. This is the very night served as proof that these sentences are real. For the first time in history of the Empire, the divine force of the law is in possession not only of the noblemen, but also of the common estate. Among the rebels are many new believers. They are ready to take up arms and defend their faith and freedom from the Lots. They are led by Leonard, the abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree. Prefect Elborn's alliance or allegiance remains unknown. The Supreme Judge has taken such pains to give the lowly estate more rights. Will he support a revolt that strives to do the same? Anazote has recently been rocked by a series of spontaneous assemblies and protests. Mob demands equal rights for all estates and freedom from tyranny of the nobles. The authorities must recognize the new faith and grant the commoners the right to choose their own lot. By nightfall, the rebels have deposed the guards and taken over the city gate. In a matter of minutes, Anazote was under their control. The overseer Gaius Tempest, the Arcanian noble, feared for his own position and power, so he was reluctant to punish the rebellious city, and as discontent grew year by year, but ensuring the uprising has left him no choice. The overseer has announced a full-scale mobilization. Crap. Well, I'm glad Tomas is not in the group. In the morning, the Legion will march towards Anazote under his command and attempt to return the city to imperial authority with fire and sword. The expeditious arrival of the Legion it's the only hope the nobles have left, that they are locked inside the city. Members of the higher estate, especially the old aristocratic families, fear of coming rampage and strive to keep order on the streets. Meanwhile, the Inquisition, led by Sister Genet, is trying to stop the new believers and urging the people to reject the revolt. Both groups are aware that the rest of the province follows Anazote into the rebellion and chaos. The empire itself and the divine order will begin to crumble. After nightfall, the city grows quiet. Its courtyards and squares are empty. In the mansions and palaces, hasty negotiations are held and schemes are connected. In dark cellars, the revolt is being prepared and armed units are gathering. Parishes are getting ready to defend the temples of the new faith against their inquisitors. There's so much reading. All the citizens, rich and poor, common and noble. Okay, so everybody's ready. Everybody's preparing for war. As the Legion arrives after the assault, the rebels assemble into a militia and get ready to defend the Imperial army. But there is little unity in their camp. Their leaders are already mired in the power struggle. There are also defenders of the Imperial Order within the city walls, members of the old aristocracy, soldiers of the Inquisition. Okay, they refuse to lay down their arms. First rays of rising sunlight upon the horizon. This day will go down in history. Your entire life has led to this moment. Step by step, you've made yourself the man you are now. And I'm not super happy with who he is now, but there's still time for change. He can become the man that he needs to be. Your actions today could alter the course of history, but are you ready to go the distance? What will have become of you by the time the sun sets? Wow. So even already, things are starting to change because of previous actions. Families in the city. I'm going to work so hard. This is all one night. Nope. Yeah. Wow. This is one night. This is all happening in one night. This is... Oh, holy crap. I have to save the family. Okay. Stefan may die, but there's a chance because of how disgraced we are in the nobility that we might survive. We're not nobles of the sword. The family's fate. The first rays of the morning sun reach the windows of your family. Oh no. I might only be reading. I may only be reading. It would be so easy to forget about the impending revolt here within these old familiar walls, but the calm before the storm will soon be over and yesterday's turmoil will return. There are only a handful of hours left. The Brantes have to decide what to do. Should the family stay in the city and prepare to weather the storm? Should they join the struggle, or should they simply avoid it? After a sleepless night, you gather in the sitting room as family once again. Father's first to speak. He's determined yet surprisingly calm as he enters. This is what I was afraid would happen. The noble estate has turned a blind eye to the common people's misery. And now we have a revolt on our hands. It's my fault as well. I did all I could to serve the cause of justice. But it just wasn't enough. Now blood will be shed. Family patriarch cast a somber gaze over his children. I want to make one thing very clear today. Our family cannot get involved in the unrest. We will not take sides. I feel for the common estate, but we will not get dragged into a hopeless bloodbath. As for preserving the Overseer's rule in Anazote, we will not sacrifice ourselves to that either. He has led Magra to rebellion, and now it is up to him and his legion to deal with the rebels. We mustn't forget Commander Otten and his noble militia. They are all too eager to use this opportunity to slaughter all the nobles they blame for the revolt. Father is silent for a while, and he takes his sword off the wall and places it firmly on the table. His voice rings with the coldness of steel. We will stay in our city and protect our home. Whatever danger may face today, the Brantes will not surrender their home, their status, or their place in this world. None of you have ever seen Father so filled with resolve, but he still seeks your support. Robert, the patriarch of the Brante family, meets your gaze. My son, I know you're going to make your own decisions. No. They're all going to die. You agree with Father? The Brantes need to take shelter at home and stay out of this struggle. It would be unwise for the family to take any side in the coming conflict. They should just focus on keeping each other safe. You, however, will have to act on your own. This is a historic day. You cannot stay out of it. Soon you will join the struggle for the city's future. You have to get ready and muster all of your strength. Father lets out a bitter sigh and puts his hand on your shoulder. Very well, son. I always knew you had your own destiny. I hope you will fulfill it today. Determination written on his face, Father stands up and buckles on his sword belt. As for the rest of us, we will stay home and stick together. Check all the locks and board all the windows and reinforce the doors. You say your hurried farewells to your family and lead them to their preparations for the coming storm. If they should find themselves in danger, you promise to come home and help them at once. In your heart of hearts, you're still uneasy. You finally walk out the door and head for the gate. This is where you belong now, on the streets where history is about to be written. Bermp, hold on, Bermp. Turn around and look behind you. Hunched, hapless silhouette of your younger brother appears at your step. He hurries towards you. Are we just going to leave that there? I guess he's following. Your younger brother stands before you, clutching an old prayer book. He speaks sighs deeply. He speaks, sighs deeply, then begins to speak. I think it's just a typo. I know you're in a hurry, Bermp. I'll try not to take up too much of your time. As you know, my faith has wavered all my life, and the twins know how much I've sinned. But in my darkest hour, I knew they hadn't turned away from the world. I knew they still cared. Nathan is quiet for a moment, watching a tiny ant make its way across the porch. But I just can't understand, no matter how hard I try, what's happening to us. This revolt against the Empire. How did the twins let it happen? Is this even possible? I mean, the twins even made the whole world as part of their design, didn't they? Does that mean their entire world is about to fall apart? This revolt, please, what is it? Help me understand. Nathan's sullen gaze rises towards the shining pillar, but thick gray storm clouds are already moving toward the city. The shining strip at the edge of the sky is growing dimmer by the second. You watch the sky too, lost in thought. What will you tell him? I will tell him something. I'm gonna tell him to kill himself again? Yeah, I don't have enough theology to do that. Am I really gonna tell him to kill himself? I mean, it's a lesser death, and this is one night. Nathan the prophet. Your hand comes to rest on Nathan's shoulder. You've always tried to guide your little brother to the truth, but right now, only the gods themselves hold the answer he seeks. Good timing with the sun, God. But you believe that he has the power to ask the twins himself. He spoke to the elder once. Surely he can speak to him again. Nathan falls silent, dumbstruck by your words. He unconsciously touches his sacred symbol he wears on his chest. Bermp, you believe me? You really believe the elder spoke to me? Your eyes shift to the silver tree. It's always stood over the city. It brings back so many memories. You recall the way you felt when you first saw it up close. And then you speak yes. You tell Nathan. You believe him, and you believe in him. Okay, he's not going to kill himself. Good. I'm glad I took that moment then. Your little brother kneels silently. He bows his head and speaks a prayer to the elder. Nathan's body begins to tremble. His eyes roll back and their sacred symbol in his hands burns with a silver flame. You try to call out to him, but your mouth will not open. Your lips are sealed. The air is growing heavy. Time and space freeze. A few moments seem to last an eternity, and then it passes. Nathan leaps to his feet, his eyes wide. I heard him. I did. He's here, Bermp, the elder. He walks among us. The elder's looking for answers just like me. He's calling out to us. He wants us to know what happened to our world. He wants to hear us. I need to find him. He suddenly stops mid-thought. But our family needs me right now. Too, right. We've got to stick together. Your hand comes to rest on your brother's shoulder once again. What's done is done. He has seen the truth, and it will never let him go. It's time for Nathan to walk his own path. He must find the elder. He must make himself heard. Oh no! He smiles meekly and embraces you as awkwardly as ever. I'll never forget everything you've done for me, brother. Farewell. Oh no. Before he leaves, Nathan hesitates for a moment. He casts one final glance at his family home, then disappears beyond the gate. He walks alone now, combing the streets for a god a mere moment before they erupt in madness. This is Nathan's one true path now. Oh, frick! I'm gonna have to decide everybody's fate. Okay. Mustering the forces, the crimson sun slowly rises above the horizon. You make your way through the city in chaos, carefully observing what is happening. On the streets, rebellion is flaring up in the night of the calm. Once again, the commoners are taken to the squares in droves. The grim resolve in the rebels' eyes speaks volumes. They are determined to seize their freedom or die trying. The others, however, who are huddled inside their homes, locking their doors and praying to survive the revolt unscathed. With every passing minute, more and more people are carrying banners. They bear the hand clutching a lantern, the mark of the last straw. Conspirators have left the shadows at last. They hand out guns to the common folk, using the last precious minute to quickly teach them how to fire them. The artisans are out in the streets too, cobbling together makeshift shields out of wood and nails to protect against the nobles and their blades. Fortunately for the rebels, the nobles remain divided. The old noble bloodlines have sided with Dorius Otten. The Archnaean has sworn to bring down the revolt by enemies necessary. His noble militia now stands guard in the Silver District, where the city's most eminent aristocracies have their homes. They represent the greatest threat to the revolt. Many nobles on the of Mantle, however, are all too eager to violate their oath of fealty and side with the rebels. Though ennobled to serve the Empire, they no longer want to suffer under the boot of the highborn Archnaean and human gentry. There are many more who still undecided. Soldiers and low-ranking officers of the Legion, from the city's garrison officials and functionaries, have all found themselves caught between the Overseer's orders and the People's Revolt. Many of them are biding their time, hoping the Legion or the Prefecture will spring into action and quell the unrest. But the Prefecture is yet to react. The city prefect, Sir Elborn, has not made it clear which side he's on. Even the clergy has been swept up in the strife. Abbot Leonard has gathered new believers, a procession to the Silver Tree, where the people will elect a new patriarch. Old believer priests and common folk who prefer to cling to the lots and save their souls stand in opposition. Wow. So there's just a lot of crap happening right now. Wow. Okay. Assemble a band of fighters from the last straw. People who are loyal to you and you alone. And I'll lead them to fight the revolt. Okay. I could do City is Defended. I could do Peace with the Overseer. Alright, so I need all of the common folk. Where are we at right now? We have a lot of common folk. None of the clergy, none of the nobles. And we've got a decent regiment. Okay, so we're going to assemble a squad of loyal rebels. Many of the last straw members are loyal to you and you alone. When the revolt began, they disappeared into the thick of the fray. These last few hours of silence are the perfect opportunity to find them again. Send out a citywide message summoning your people to the usual meeting place. As noon draws closer, wow, the empty print shop comes to life once again. The rebels who flocked there are ready to fight for the revolt. In their eyes, you are the leader of the city's underground, the one guiding light in enduring chaos. This is insane, y'all. This is insane. You start handing out weapons, appointing lieutenants, and teaching your men how to fight in the streets. You also got to freaking get rid of this weed before they start smoking it, because since Nathan's been clean, there's so much freaking weed laying around. Strike quickly, you tell them, and try to take the enemy by surprise and retreat, split up, and reassemble somewhere else. They are miners, diggers, artisans, merchants, paupers, desperate commoners, and they are all ready to put all their remaining lives on the line. They will either win freedom or face the gallows for unimaginable acts of treason against the Empire. This is all they have left. Alright. Do you have what it takes to realize their hopes and guide them to victory? It's time to find out. The sound of gunfire fills the city streets once again. The lull has passed. Okay, so I've got troops. And the rebels are winning. Okay. A cornered beast. Since I took the path of the lotless, this is an event that I can do. Guys, I'm already just like exhausted from this. Noon approaches. Your thoughts keep returning to Sophia as you muster your forces on impending fight for the city's future. Where is she right now? Where are her plans? What are her orders for the last straw? Joined by your followers, you carefully make your way through the now empty streets. Danger could lurk around any corner. You take another turn and hear someone moaning in pain. Oh no. You quickly zigzag to the edge of the Silver District. At the end of the street in the square, which several wooden stakes had been hastily erected, nailed to each stake is a commoner dressed in bloody, tattered rags. What is going on here? Sign for your men to take cover by the wall of an old factory. You hear hooves. Oh, you evil little wretch, you. Oh, you. You hear the clanging hooves of a single horse clattering among the cobblestones. A stately horseman rides toward the stakes, a luxurious cloak draped across his shoulders. You know him. You know his dire from the since you were a lad. The Arachnean arrogant voice echoes through the square. People of Anazote, hear my words. I, Dorius Otten, High Commander of Macra, lead the noble militia. Otten points the tip of his sword at the writhing commoners. These low-born wretches dared to sneak into the Silver District and rob noble homes, but I will not grant them mercy of a lesser death by my blade. They will live and suffer as benefits their lots. This is their divine duty. So first you hurt my Sophia, and then you're gonna do this? Know this, rebels. Anyone who follows your precious Sophia will share the same fate. I know my runaway servant's wily ways. She'll send you all at me without a second thought. You all die by my hand. She won't care. She's completely insane. She might be. All she wants is to see Anazote burn to the ground. Your men exchange uneasy glances. You motion for them to remain quiet. You need to stay out of sight for now. Sophia! I know you're here somewhere. You've grown up, but you're still my property. I can see your people turning their backs on you. All hope is lost. Come back to your lord and master. You will be mine forever. You are an evil son of a gun. The lone rider is motionless and silent in the empty square. It is quiet. Even the captive commoners stifle their moans, and then bang. A squad of last straw rebels spills out of an alleyway and rushes Otten. Sophia is the first among them. Her plain skirt stained with blood, a long, heavy musket in her hands. You lying blue... Oh, crap! I want him alive! The People's Court will deal with him! Sophia stops and takes aim. Another gunshot rumbles. Otten's mare collapses, wounding and taking the rider to the ground. Holy crap. The rebels turn towards Otten, celebrating his downfall. But then you hear the deafening clacking of the hooves coming from the Silver District, the noble militia. Oh, shoot. Everyone is charging, and I'm going to have to make a decision that's going to decide the future. The riders who were waiting to ambush Sophia. The elite cavalrymen smash into the last straw squad like a heavy steel gauntlet. The rebels are taken by surprise. She's going to die. Otten gets up from under his horse, his sword at the ready. No one takes a step back. We fight them to the end! The militia and the rebels has the rebels and its leaders surrounded. Your people are hugging the wall, trying to stay out of sight. They watch the fight anxiously, awaiting your orders. It's time to act. If Sophia is captured, she will not be there to lead the rebellion. However, if she escapes, the revolt will be ruled by her merciless, vindictive cruelty. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I can't do that though. Why'd I have to sleep with her? Give orders quietly. Ready your weapons. Be quiet and follow me. Rescue Sophia and her people. You rage a battle in the deafening... I hate this. This is why you don't get involved with a woman when you don't know her! Rage a battle and the deafening rumble of gunfire render the noble riders blind from your deft approach. You bring the squad closer, waiting for the perfect moment to take them by surprise. Sophia and her rebels fight with all their might, but the riders keep pushing. The ring around them becomes smaller and smaller. Squad, attack. Our cause is just. Sophia were coming. Death to the tyrants. Steel grinding against steel. Clouds of acrid smoke. The stench of blood. Horses neighing in terror. You used to walk the Sir Tiber School along this very street, but now it's the site of a terrible battle. To find Sophia in the chaotic skirmish, you follow the flashes of magic yellow light. One by one, the riders fall from their saddles, paralyzed by her spell. Sophia's sepia eyes burn with rage. Come here, Otten. I'll show you what your servant can do. Driven by a blinding rage, desperate young woman's faces the armed and armored riders on their own. You finally make your way to her side. Sophia. Bermp! Finally, I thought they got you. Come on, let's crush them together. Scream over the sounds of the skirmish. No, this is a battle you cannot win. You will have to abandon the captives. You have to get out of this trap now. Sophia takes a moment to catch her breath and return to her senses. The furious yellow light in her eyelids dies down. Your loyal fighters form a shield around her, blocking the assault by Otten's riders. Reinforcements on horseback are already heading your way from the noble Silver District. You grab Sophia by the elbow, your voice hoarse, screaming an order of retreat. You withdraw from the square down the narrow back streets and alleyways under the cover of gunfire. The riders quickly lose track of you. Only Otten's scream of rage reaches your ears now.
Just wait till I get my hands on you, you filthy! You'd better thank the twins. I have more important matters to attend to.
In a quiet space surrounded by several houses, with boarded up doors and windows, Sophia's rebels take a moment to lick their wounds. They join your fighters next. Few of those rebels survived, but they have guns, training, and tenacity to see this through to the very end. While everyone recovers, you wander away to find Sophia. She's sitting on the doorstep of an abandoned house, far from the rest of you. I almost got us all killed, Bermp, if it weren't for you. Otten tried to turn our own men against us. He told them I was crazy. I couldn't let him keep lying like that. You put a hand on Sophia's shoulder. Ever since this all began, you have both known the revolt. It would cost you dearly. Right now, all you can do is keep fighting no matter what. If there's a chance to, ask her to let me lead, that's fine. And if any other members of the Last Straw get scared and try to switch sides when they face fire and blood, you will show them no mercy. Sophia should know that you will be by her side until the end. She gets back up on her feet, angry flecks of gold glowing in her eyes again. You're right. No mercy. If they listen to the enemy, they're the enemy too. I won't make the same mistake again. I'm through second-guessing myself. The people need me. My place is here in the street. Crap, I'm gonna have a bad ending. I need to lead the people, give them purpose, give them a leader, and grind the old order into dust. There's a big gathering at the Empire Square over by the Chancery. I should be there. If I want to fend off the Legion, I've got to bring this whole city together under the banner of the Last Straw. But we've still got plenty of enemies in the Anazote. I hear Otten and his militia have just moved out of the prefecture. They want to execute Elborn and his judges for treason. There's lots of people by the prefecture. We need them on our side. Who knows? Maybe even Elborn will join us. You should head there. I'll start getting people together at Empire Square. Sophia squeezes your hand so hard it hurts. And come back to me as soon as you can, okay, Bermp? I can't do this without you. I know, 'cause you're a crazy bee! You are one crazy bee! Crap! Okay, so I won't get that, I can't get that. So the massacre could happen. Oh my gosh. Crap. Ah, crap. No. Ah. The searing sun looms high in the sky above the rebellious city. The square in front of the prefecture is packed with commoners. Just a moment ago, they boldly demanded the judges and the return to or side with the rebellion. But now they're terrified. The fear of the noble army is coming for them. As calls for rebellions are gone, praised by frightened screams, hoofs thunder against the cobblestone, the earth quakes beneath their feet. The noble militia, led by Dorius Otten, carves a path through the human sea. Terrified rebels scatter at the sight of the approach. The Gerzaburdrbs remain where they are, forming a tight circle around the prefecture in Elborn. The prefect calls out to the crowd, his voice is hoarse. Everyone, stay calm. Let them through, do not draw your weapons. Otten's riders push the mob aside and eventually reach the tall building. The Arcanian commander draws his reins only when the Gerbersiebs all separate him from the prefecture's stairs. Prefect Elborn, how dare you disobey the orders of the province's rightful rulers? You have abused your position to appease the rebels and defy the imperial rule. This inconceivable rebellion is all your fault. It's time you accepted your well-earned punishment. In the name of Archduke Melandis, I hereby order you and your Gerbegerbs to surrender your weapons. The supreme judge of the prefecture maintains his composure in the face of this recrimination. I only obey the laws of the Empire, Sir Otten. Not you or your runaway Archduke. Otten's face contorts in a predatory grin. Excellent. You've had a chance to save face, old man. Instead of a dignified execution, and you and your cronies will hang, like the foul rabble you betrayed us for. Alright, so, it's about to happen. Preparing for an assault, we're going to rouse the mob and encourage them to defend our uncle. Otten's riders advance on the Gerbs. If you do nothing, the prefecture will fail. You need to act now. You leap into the mob, scramble up into an overturned carriage, and call out to the throng. It's Brante! Bermp Brante, who wants to say something! You shout as loudly as you can. People of Anazote, do not fear the wrath of the nobles. Your lives are finally yours for the first time since the Empire was founded. Cast off the lot of humility. You are many and they are few. It is time to fight. For years and years, the prefecture has always been there to protect the rights and freedoms of the common man. We cannot let it fall into the enemy hands. Stop them. Protect the prefect. Elborn hears you over the din of the struggle. The prefecture stares. His voice joins yours. Show them you have no fear. Yes! Take your rights by force. Prefect Elborn, I am on your side. Yes! Your words inspire the people with a sense of solidarity. They have much to lose now, and they will not surrender their freedom without a fight. In the blink of an eye, the unwieldingly throng bristles of heavy sticks, wooden clubs, and makeshift spears. You start giving orders from your impromptu podium, commanding this newfound army to assault the rear of Otten's cavalry. Cut this rabble down, no mercy! The cavalry turns to face him with an onslaught of sharp steel. Bones crack beneath hooves, swords slice through defenseless flesh. The stench of blood fills the fallen bodies dissipate into the glimmering dust. You keep dueling out furious commands, trying to ensure the common folks are not routed. Hold the line, stand your ground. Better a lesser death than an eternity of slavery. The riders smash into I have a feeling I'm going to die another lesser death. The people have numerical superiority, and their spears and clubs strike back. The cavalry begins to drown the sea of humanity. The Gerbs hit Otten's warriors from the rear. One by one, the riders are dragged from their horses. The noble militia falters. Traitors! Filth! Retreat! Otten and his surviving horsemen turn tail and flee, furiously carving a path with their swords. At least half of Otten's men have fallen in this battle. That's incredible. It's terrible, and it's bloody, and it's awful, and it shouldn't be the way it is. But the slavery has cost so many lives as well. So many lives and so much goodness, and based on what we've seen, looks like the law of the twins is different than what we were told. Commoners shake their weapons, eager to follow your orders. But it's far too early to celebrate. You have only fought off one assault. Prefect Elborn finds you in the boisterous crowd. Bermp, your courage has saved the prefecture. I'm with you until the end. Whatever you need from me, you will have it. We need to hurry now. The noble militia we've seen in the city pales in comparison to the forces of the Legion. I'll gather our forces at the prefecture and establish a unified command structure. You should find Abbot Leonard and aid him in any way you can. His procession must be en route to the Silver Tree by now. The enemies of the new faith are waiting there, weapons in hand. They'll massacre each other if we don't stop them, Brante. The city's a powder keg with a short fuse. More fire and more blood is the last thing we need. I agree. What we need is more allies, and we have Leonard on our side is crucial. We need a spiritual leader who can reunite the city against the Legion. Good. You nod to Elborn. The fate of the feud between the two faiths will be decided in the Clash of the Silver Tree. You have to be there. You wish the prefect luck, then muster your loyal forces and head for the tree. Okay. Wow. Oh, this is not good. I'm running out of willpower. My gosh. An enormous sea of humanity flows through the streets of Anazote, filling the streets of the Temple District. They are led by Abbot Leonard. And where's Fuad? I want to at least say goodbye to my boy Fuad. The new believers walk peacefully behind him, many of them women and elderly. They are unarmed, their faces show neither fear nor anger. They are so drastically unlike the throngs of rebels who are currently ransacking the streets and looting noble houses. The procession slowly makes its way toward the Temple of the Silver Tree. The temple has always been where the patriarchs of the church accept their sacred duty, along with the heavy burden of the responsibility for their flock before the twin gods. But something is so wrong. I mean, like, I don't see a truth other than the new faith because of what's his name? Because of Nathan. Nathan's a prophet now. Nathan is getting visions from the twins, specifically the elder. Like, nothing is the way it seems. Patriarch speaks, the twins pay heed. And every 8 years it falls upon the patriarch to proclaim in their sight how their world is humbly following the lot it's been given. Long, long after the twins descended our world, the patriarchs came to be elected at the conclave by the clergy. This tradition has continued for many years. Today, dozens of priests have come to the temple in spite of the unrest to conduct the rite and spare the twins' world from their wrath. But now thousands of commoners are walking to the same temple to elect the new patriarch themselves. You and your followers take a side to the street to the temple to avoid the massive procession. Soon the square... the square by the trees packed, teeming, overwhelmed. But the stairs of the temple doors cannot be reached. A stalwart flanks of champions of the faith blocks its way, with Janae in the lead. Oh no. I mean, we have a bad relationship with her-ish, but we saved her sister as well. Those who joined by the Inquisition, those who have decided to walk the path of the old faith until the very end. I will not allow you into the temple, Leonard. These heretics will not make you patriarch. Father Leonard slowly begins to ascend the stairs. He does not argue with Janine. The abbot simply faces her with a humble smile and gestures to the people standing behind him. Doubts, clouds, champions' faces. Leonard's procession is truly staggering. Even if there are mere commoners, even if they are unarmed and empty-handed, there are simply too many of them to be stopped by a few dozen old believers. Sister Janae, look at them. Are they truly heretics? All of them? Are just people our brothers and sisters in faith? Why would the Inquisition treat us like enemies? We do not reject the twin gods, nay, we seek them with our own every thought. You rejected the law of the younger when you chose to seek your own laws. No, Janae. The only thing we reject is Isatice's error. This argument has been going on for years, Leonard. I know each and every point you can make. Don't even bother. You will not enter the temple. And all these people, you're just dragging them down to the foot of the pillar along with you. How can you still not understand this after so many years? What do you think? We learned this previously. I'm in control of whether to go up or down. I'm in control of that. You let me decide that. Do you not fear the wrath of God? I do not, Janae. When I become patriarch, I will tell the twins that we still love and revere them just as we always have, even if we seek a different path to them. The twins will hear us, they will listen, they will understand. There will be no wrath of the gods. The new believers heed Leonard's words. They begin to firmly ascend the stairs towards the doors of the temples. The champion's swords do not deter them. Janae watches the massive congregation approach her, her eyes filled with remorse. She raises an arm about to give her final order. Champions of the faith, protect the sacred temple, fight to the bitter end. You reach the foot of the stairs. What can I do? Yeah, I'm saving them. I'm saving the new believers from bloodshed. There can never be peace between the Inquisition and the new believers. Still, Janae is right. The dispute between them has gone on for years. Neither side will ever yield to the other. Right now, there's only one thing you can do. Rescue as many of them as you can from what's about to come. You gesture to your followers hurriedly. Spread out and guide the people away from here, as many as you can. Go, in the name of the younger. Champions of the faith obey Janae's order. They get in formation to begin advancing on the new believers, weapons in hand. I don't think this is what I wanted to do, but we'll see. The unarmed mob recoils in fear, but those in the front row are pushed from behind and driven on into the blades. Blood splatters onto the stairs of the sacred temple. A woman's voice lets out a shrill scream. Panic spreads throughout the mob like wildfire. Chaos fills the minds of women and men. They begin pushing, pulling, and dashing, recoiling like frightened animals. The warriors of the church keep advancing, unrelenting and lethal. Your men have reached the edges of the square. They try to guide the new believers down the back alley, shouting here over here, but for many of them it's already too late. A mighty gust of wind rushes over the square, roars, howls, and almost screams, filled with remorse, agony, and wrath. The earth begins to tremble beneath your feet. Before your very eyes, as though in some terrible nightmare, the roof of the sacred temple begins to shake, and the pillars start to sway back and forth. No! The world is turned upside down, like a kaleidoscope shaken by a massive hand. I didn't realize that the kaleidoscope was that important. For several seconds, everything blends together. You fall flat on your back. Wow. Slowly you come to your senses. You're surrounded by dozens of bodies and chunks of rocks. What the... Where's the temple of the silver tree once stood? There is nothing. The grand majestic structure's no more. What the crap? Oh no. We've invoked the wrath of the divine. Everything's gone. A cloud of dust settles upon the square. Thousands of leaves shed by the silver tree. They cover the corpses of the truly dead like a pale white shroud. Gosh. What happened? We're about to see the wrath of the gods. The entire square glows with the bodies of those yet to be reborn dissolve into nothingness. There are so many that the light stings your eyes, even though thick dust still hangs over it all. Just how many people met their deaths today? Sister Janae and her warriors are gone, buried beneath the rocks. The order of the Inquisition in Anazote is finished. Wow. Yeah, I got it all. You stagger to your feet and go where you last saw Father Leonard. You spot soon. Oh no, is he going to be dead? Oh no, if he's dead. You soon spot the edge of his once white cassock pinned by a chunk of broken pillar. It takes all in your strength to roll the heavy stone away and drag the abbot from under the rubble. Leonard is wounded but conscious. He looks around trying to understand what happened, slowly falls to his knees. A loud groan escapes his lips. Blood and tears trickle down Leonard's face, mixing together. The abbot chokes on the dust. His eyes are fixed on the ruins of what were once his temple. The bare branches of the tree piercing the sky like swords. I was wrong. The gods, they wouldn't listen to us. They've rejected our faith. What do I do now, Bermp? What will I do? My temple. How will we live now? There is no hope left. This is the end. Leonard's words become incoherent, descending into a frantic babble. You speak to the abbot, trying to console him. All is not lost. You managed to save many people. You're not sure he can hear you now. Oh no. You can't wait for him to come to his senses. You have to take the lead, so you begin mustering your forces and getting ready to move to the Empire Square. Oh, we're going to get this terrible ending. Enormous crowds of people are already on their way, about to choose the leader of Anazote Rebellion. The sun slowly begins to set. She met a true death, oh my gosh. Oh no, this is not good. Oh! Oh no. The sun is setting, the red sky quiver. I may only read pieces of this because, like, I'm out of water and I've worn my voice down, but I'm gonna try to finish this. Yeah, because we're just now at 50 minutes. Sun is setting, the blood red sky quivers in the hot smoke from the fires raging through the sky of the city. You cannot help but recall a passage from The Lives of the Twins, one of the many passages you read when you were a child. And the elder said, "Lo, I have cast flame into the world, and I shall guard it until it begins to blaze. Could this passage be referring to today? Lead your followers to the Empire Square. You walk around rubble, past abandoned carriages and unfinished barricades. There have clearly been clashes here recently. The dust of the departure is still rising into the sky. Thousands fill the square before the Chancellery. Well over half of the commoners of Anazote, the Chancellery has been under rebel control since noon. All Imperial officers either fled or were torn apart by the mob. Scraps of rumors and gossip reach your ears. Did you hear what happened at the tree? It's the Inquisitors. They just started slaughtering folks. Leonard's processions made it to the temple. All lies. The Twin Gods got angry and destroyed them all under the tree. The temple's gone. The crowd is on edge. Any dispute could explode into a brawl. The voice of the Chancellery stairs calls for another people's court. The mob turns as one. Uh-oh. Several last-straw rebels drag a handful of well-dressed nobles out onto the steps to force them to their knees. The leader of the executioners is a preacher with a mane of unkempt hair, the wild eyes of a lunatic, Father Fuad. The younger, he speaks through us, he does. He gave us the power of his law, the power to punish our enemies, to execute them. Anyone who stands in our way is an enemy of the twins themselves. People, it is time to judge these enemies of the simple folk. What is your sentence? They shout death, true death. But who is it? Last straw rebels ready their guns. One of the captives gets to speak and speaks out defiantly. You dare call this pathetic freak show a people's court? You don't have the power, you never have and you never will. You think you can wield the law of the twins? Bah! We'll come back, and we'll make you pay. No. His last words are drowned out by a thunderous volley of gunfire. One by one, the nobles collapse, their bodies pierced by bullets. They remain where they fall. The mob gasps in amazement. There can be no doubt the People's Court has the power to mete out true death at will. Which is terrifying because they can do so much harm and so much evil, and it's permanent. Kind of like the world today. This is what will happen to anyone who dares to oppose us. All hail the revolt, all hail our leader, all hail Sophia. Sophia's going to lead us. She's going to fend off the Legion. She's going to bring justice, first to Anazote and the whole empire. She's going to tear down the old ways and wipe all the tyrants and nobles from the face of the world. And they're ecstatic. Sophia, Sophia. I can't do anything. Why can't I do this? I can't do anything. This is going to end so badly. This is going to be a massacre. We're getting the massacre ending. This is going to be the Anazote massacre. This is not good. I could have overthrown her. Except I frickin' slept with her. That's why you don't sleep with crazy women. Keep your men away from the crowd and observe the situation from afar. This matter will be decided without your interference. The door of the Chancellery swings wide open and Sophia emerges with thousands of people in the square. Her silhouette seems to blaze in the light of the sun. She raises a clenched fist into the air, demanding silence. And they cease murmuring. The voice of the leader of the revolt sings with fury. People of Anazote, today is not only the day we took up arms and cast off our shackles. Today is the first day of a new era, where we begin by taking back our city. We will eliminate anyone who dares to stand in our way. They will declare war against the old regime, against the entire empire, no mercy. Upon hearing these words, even most frantic rebels fall silent. A frightened murmur ripples through the crowd. Is Sophia asking them to take on the entire world? No. The mob involuntarily grows quiet and watches its leader, rapt with attention. Sophia's golden glow is reflected in thousands of eyes. That's right, war, no mercy. Nobles, defenders of the old faith, the tyrants of the old regime, they will all be executed by the People's Court. Every single enemy of Anazote revolt will be eliminated. Arm yourselves. No, find and execute our enemies before the Legion reaches the city. And then when the bell tolls, go to the walls. Oh no. This is going to be a horrible ending. Artisans, merchants, peasants from the outskirts of Anazota, they all take up arms and join ranks of the last straw. Crowd storms the streets, ready to unleash its wrath. Lead your supporters out of the square. The time for the battle has come. The watchmen inform you that the Legion is only a few hours away. Will the outcome of the revolt be decided in combat, or is there a peaceful solution? All depends on the actions you take in the upcoming hours. I gained back some willpower, so now I can actually do something, but... Crap. While you're busy preparing, night falls over Anazote. Darkness brings disorder, lawlessness, and chaos. In the dark, madmen, robbers, looters, gangs have no interest in the fate of the Empire or the revolt. They see the uprising as a sign that the end of the world is nigh and the wrath of God is at hand. Everything is permitted. Upon hearing reports of gangs roaming the streets, you sense danger. What's to stop them from attacking your home? People may need you, but you can't abandon your family. Taking a squad of loyal men with you, you hurry to your home district. Your instinct proves to be correct. Even before reaching the street, you smell smoke. Tibber's school is ablaze. The old man's hurled out of a third-story window and impaled on sharp spikes below the gate. My gosh. Ashes from dozens of burning books blanket the ground in black snow. I hope there's still a chance for me to overthrow Sophia. Tomas's old house lies in ruins. Breathless, you run. At least he's not there. Your men can barely keep up with you. You hope you're not too late. You round the last turn. There it is, the gate of your ancestral home. You see the light of the burning houses. Thugs are close, too close. You run through the gate into the house. Your men stay guard outside. You hastily open the door. Your father is on the doorstep, sword in hand. He recognizes you and lets out a sigh of relief. It was you, Bermp. I'm so glad you're here. They have burned down half the district, and they're on their way here. He's cut short. The living room window is now shattered. A torch lands on the floor. You quickly stamp out the flames. The battle is in full swing in the front yard. A massive crowd is fiercely attacking your soldiers without any regard for their own safety. Looters are led by a rugged, half-naked old man, clad in rags, horrible scars on his wrists and ankles revealed his past as a convict. He yells frantically in your direction, shrieks cutting through the din of the fray. The world is coming to an end. We've disobeyed the twins and they're punishing us. There ain't no punishment worse than this, so there ain't nothing to fear. These are our last hours. Do whatever you want. The crowd bellows in support of the old man. Your soldiers fall one after another beneath the onslaught of the rabid gang. The twins have damned us all. We've been damned for your sins, you filthy nobles, you false priests. But before we face our final judgment, we dole out a little punishment of our own. Hee-haw, hee-hee. Or hee-hee-hee-hee. We'll take our revenge on you before we die. Our judgment cometh. The horde crushes your squad's resistance and approaches the houses, stomping of feet, shakes the windows. Your father looks at you in despair. They want to execute us. What do we do? The bad end is coming. Hopefully they will escape. And I've still got another life. There are too many enraged thugs. You are doomed, but the Brante family will not surrender without a fight. You walk to the front door and face your death with dignity. Take him alive. That one there is Judge Brante. Let's give him a little taste of our judgment now. They charge at you. Father takes the first of them down with swift lunges, but the few thugs immediately take their place. You will fight with all your might, but you cannot hold back such a frenzied mob. You are knocked to the ground and bound. They come at you kicking and punching. You writhe on the ground, hearing your family scream, but you cannot help them anymore. The old leader leans over you. You shouldn't have resisted us, you fool. Now you'll be the last to die. You'll watch your whole family die before your eyes, hee hee hee. You are dragged back into the house. You try to struggle, but your body will not obey. You feel blood dripping from your mouth. Your family screams echoing through the house. Bermp, my son, where are you? You try to answer, but you do not have the strength. The end of the world is nigh. No one can stop us anymore. Not the nobles, not the priests, not even the twins themselves. In our final hours, we're taking power into our hands. Feel the wrath. Brante family, we hereby sentence you to true death by fire. The old man's supporters hurl torches through the windows. The flames engulf the building in a matter of seconds. You can barely see through the smoke. Our verdict has been carried out. We've punished the nobles. Well, off we go. Our campaign has just begun here. This is the end. Your home, your family, your hopes and dreams, will they all go up in flames? One by one, the screams of your loved ones fall silent. The tree in front of the front yard that once protected you and Nathan from midday heat is now a massive torch. The attic where Gloria used to hide secretly, write her poetry, crumbles in a torrent of sparks. The dining room where Stefan used to entertain high-ranked guests is consumed by the blaze. The bedroom where you saw your parents' faces for the first time is in flames. Your memories help you bear the searing pain of the fire once it finally reaches you. Smoke soon fills your lungs, you cannot breathe. The groan of your house as it comes crashing down around you is the last sound you hear. Your life and suffering have come to an end. You are whisked away toward the blinding light. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Neither side could overcome the other.
This was going to happen.
The fire of the revolt could not be extinguished. The province, and then the whole empire, fell on troubled times.
For years after your death, Anazote continued to simmer. I believe that we've heard all of this before. It's so depressing. I mean, this is what happens. I heard Glenn Beck explain it a good way. Our country is like a big pendulum swinging back and forth. It swings too far one way, authoritarian control. People grow displeased with that, so then it swings way too far back the other way. The reason we have a constitution, the way that we have it, is because it prevents that pendulum from swinging so much. I mean, the same can be said with people's faiths. I mean, we have an authoritative word of God that's meant to prevent all of this from happening. All of this is the same as the last time. So we've read all this before. Here we are again, back at the true death. Standing with our family as we burn to the ground. And let me do this for you guys. Like I said, this would be it. And I'll let you guys do the reading if you want. Because we've done this before. It's just so sad. So much of this, the elder asks, are you thankful? Am I thankful to the gods for the life that I lived? Honestly, at this point, I think that Bermp is, and myself, they hear your answer. Compassion and remorse fill the immeasurably deep eyes of the elder twin. I mean, this world sucks. The way that it's set up sucks. He turns his face to his divine brother, who returns his gaze with an expression of stern remorse. The elder twin asks you, what is life to you? What was your life to you? It was struggle. Every moment was struggle. The elder twin bows his head, wearily considering your response. I think that these responses are the same, somewhat the same no matter what. Human by the name of Brante, what did you live for? Freedom, of course. Not just for me, but for other people as well. Divine figure continues his stern interrogation. What did you leave behind? I left to change this time. The younger twin now moves to you with clear intent, poised to render his judgment, but the elder twin restrains his brother with a gesture. The divine voice fills you once again. Did your life make the world we made a better place and more perfect? I feel like I failed to change the fate of the world for the better. No matter what I did, I wasn't able to make it better. Your younger twin is silent, his eyes two swords piercing your soul. The elder twin speaks to you again, but you already know the question. The very same question that caused you so much suffering shortly before your true and final death. What determined your destiny? Ultimately, I did, because I chose how to interact with it. Grants at least the last moment in all eternity. And so this is the chance where you can redo the game. I mean, I can go back and redo the game right now, but would you take a different path in life? I'm going to say no. You reject the hand of the elder. The immense divine silhouette withdraws in sorrow. The younger twin steps forward, leaving you to face his law alone. The twin's judgment is nearing. The soul of the man named Brante lays prostrate at your feet. Every moment. And this is the moment where, basically, I'm the younger brother now. And now I'm deciding, where does the man named Bermp Brante belong? In his life, he did his best to live. I can't condemn him. I can't. Because he tried his best. He really did try hard in order to bring a wholeness to the world. Oh, that's it. And there we go, guys. And it's honestly really hard to say goodbye, so from now on I'm just going to play it in my free time. I'm not going to pull a Markiplier again. This is it. This is goodbye. As much as it pains me to say it, Bermp Brante's story on this channel is gone. And it hurts so much because, like, I feel so powerless. Like, the one thing that I swore up and down from the beginning I was going to protect was I was going to protect my family, my sister, my younger brother, my dad Robert. And in the end, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't save them. The decisions I made early on prevented me from being able to save them, and it sucks. It sucks so badly. But that's life. We can only make so many decisions and only change so much. But thank you guys for tuning in. I know this has been a longer one, but it's just sad. But it feels much more like the ending that it was supposed to be. I'll see you guys in the next game. Goodbye.